Yep, I'm holding a Coke Zero. Why? Because I like them. And of all the vices I have, it's the only one. And I like cars. I love cars. The more rad, the more crazy the car, the more I like it. But that's it. It's 4th of July today. Everybody should be celebrating for all of the right reasons. It's not about me getting on here and telling you what you should be celebrating. And that's not what I'm going to be talking about. I just wanted to say, everybody listening, happy 4th of July. Enjoy celebrating the freedoms that you got because of 1776. So keep that in mind. All the things that we get to say and do because of that. But I started thinking, and by the way, everything I'm about to say, I have to put this disclaimer in here because apparently if I don't, everybody in the world that is involved in big pharma is going to freak the hell out and say, well, you can't say that. So in the freedom of speech era, we do not have freedom of speech. So everything I'm about to tell you about peptides and SARMs and everything else is purely hypothetical, completely research-based. It's all based on rodent models and nothing that has to do with humans. It's not FDA approved. It's not here to prescribe or diagnose or treat or advise or help or guide or anything. This is all just a bunch of entertainment. If you know, you know. Wink. Enough said. I've been on this platform for over a decade and I've never steered you guys astray, and I'm not about to start now. So listen, today I get a lot of questions from people asking me alternatives to things that I explain. Now, I'm only going to tell you things that work. You might not like the mechanism of action. You might not like the fact that it involves a 29 gauge insulin needle, but at the same time, you know, it could be a baby. A 29 gauge, 30 gauge insulin needle is significantly more tolerable than a stainless steel ball in your knee or your shoulder, or God knows what else is going to happen. Neurological degradation, tissue degradation, osteoarthritis, or any kind of disease process that may or may not show up. So just listen to me when I tell you, I'm not coming out here to constantly market my product. I have two things. One is Elitebiogenix. Yeah, I think you should get everything there. Why? Because it's American, it's tested, and nobody cares about you more than me. I promise you that. And two is I have the Unbreakable Mastermind, which is an information source for all of this, along with making a ton of money. And I just give it all away. I tell you how to do everything. If you want to scale your brand, if you want to build your business, if you want to grow your business, if you want to learn how to make $1 million a year, I teach you step by step exactly how to do it. The only way you won't do it, yes, $1 million a year is just over $114 an hour, 24 hours a day for 365 days. And if that gets in your way and you go, well, forget it, then success is not for you and don't worry about being a millionaire. It's okay. I like being a millionaire. If you don't like it, that's a problem between you and God. I'm going to teach you how to do it, but you have to actually sign up for the mastermind. No, if you want it for free, you are also not cut out for success, because successful people are willing to do whatever's required in order to become successful. Same thing goes for your health. If you aren't willing to do whatever's required to be the healthiest, most powerful version of yourself, then nobody can help you, because you are just looking for excuses to stay where you are, but blame the system for why you are the way you are. So the Unbreakable Mastermind, I teach all of this. I go over all of this, and every Monday I answer every question you can possibly throw at me, including all of this stuff that I teach here about health and peptides and SARMs and all the medical stuff, including money and leads and lead gen and how to make $1 million in 1 year. Stick with me for a year. If you don't make $1 million in that year, the problem is you didn't listen to what I told you to do. It's that simple, and I'm the only guy that'll stand behind it nonstop. So let's cut all the BS and the fluff and get right to the fun of what I want to talk about. Imagine if you could build muscle. Everybody wants to build muscle. If you don't, you have accepted a strange agenda to validate why it's okay to be unhealthy. But imagine this. You want to build muscle, you want to burn fat, and you want to recover like you're 18. You remember that? 18 years old, 16 years old, you could probably stab yourself and watch yourself heal like the real life Wolverine. You were Logan, 24/7, 365. But you want to recover like you're 18 years old, even when you're 35, 40, 45, 50, 60. And you run on 4 hours of sleep and a bunch of caffeine and regret. Imagine if you could do that. All right, I get it. Because you've probably tried every Insta Coach, Insta Guru system, diet, every health food store supplement, and even stared down the needle wondering if it's worth it. Maybe you have. I'm talking about performance enhancing drugs, right? Maybe you've looked down that needle and gone, all right, I got to do it. There's a better way. Is it going to be as effective? No. Is it going to be damn close? Oh, hell yeah. The side effect is it doesn't wreck your hormones. So there's no shutdown, no PCT, nothing like that. So it doesn't shut down your test. It doesn't make your life revolve around syringes and side effects and all the other things. So I'm going to explain just two compounds today, just so you understand what they are. MK677 and the Cardarine, right? I would call it the smart man step. It's not steroids or SARMs or a PCT. There's no shutdown. And it is just what I always say, which is biological leverage that works with your body instead of kicking it in the teeth every day, right? So let me explain what MK677 is. It's not a steroid before you guys start going, oh, I've heard of that. It's not even a SARM. This is a league all on its own. It's what we call a growth hormone secretagogue. It's a signal compound. It doesn't force your body to do something unnatural. It tells it, hey, remember how you're supposed to release growth hormone? Yeah, why don't we do more of that? That's it. It's simple, it's elegant, and it's very, very effective. And let me explain a little bit how this works so you understand what the mechanism is behind this, because a lot of people hear this and go, yeah, great, but what's it doing in my body? Some of you guys want to know, some of you don't. I'm going to tell you anyway. MK677 mimics a hormone called ghrelin, right? It's the hunger hormone. If you had to explain it that way, that's the easiest way to explain it. But instead of making you snack on chips at midnight, it binds to the ghrelin receptor in the brain, which then triggers your pituitary gland to release more growth hormone and IGF-1, insulin growth factor 1. All good things, by the way, because what happens is when GH is released, it ramps up fat metabolism. When IGF-1 is increased, right, when that's pushed to a higher level, it drives muscle growth. Both enhance massively deep sleep. So you're getting, like, look at all these benefits you're getting. This is where all the recovery happens. So all of you people that are going, well, tearing yourself down in the gym isn't where the growth happens, it's when you sleep. Correct. But the people that are usually saying that are the people that are using a shake weight. So I'm not listening to any of you guys. Your theory is sound and your physiology is correct, but you're not working. You just want to come up with a reason why you can't train like I can. So again, growth hormone ramps up fat metabolism. IGF-1 drives muscle growth. Both of those enhance wicked deep sleep, which is where all your recovery happens. You see where I'm going with this? So the cell turnover, the collagen repair, tissue regeneration, all of that levels up. And the best part, for all you guys that are scared of needles, it's oral. It's non-suppressive. Your test levels are untouched. No PCT, no shrinkage, no shutdown, just outcomes, just results. Here's why MK677 crushes other muscle builders. And there's a couple of factors. Number one is it uses your own biology. So you're not injecting external hormones. You're amplifying what your body already knows how to do. Now, that's massive because it's called endogenous optimization. It's the sustainable path because you can do this indefinitely. And the reason is it's using your own system and it doesn't overdrive or over rev your system. The second thing is it makes you sleep better and it makes your sleep work harder. See, if you think that sleep is rest, you're wrong. The real purpose of sleep is so your body can put everything back together that you tore down in a bigger, better, badder, stronger way. So MK677 improves deep REM sleep, which is what we know we need, right? And slow wave sleep. Also, you know, that's what we need. So when your body naturally releases the growth hormone, not only do you get more growth hormone, more GH, you also build better conditions to release it. So you have this synergistic effect. It builds real mass. None of this is water. IGF-1 is anabolic systemically. And that means bones, tendons, ligaments, skin, muscle, everything benefits. You feel stronger, you look fuller, and you recover faster. And then the inflammation that you have, gone. All hypothetically. You can play the long game with this stuff for as long as you really want. You could run MK677 for 6 months straight, never touch a PCT protocol, ever. No test crash, no mood swings, no libido nosedive. This is smart supplementation for serious people that want serious results. Now, if you look at Cardarine, right? Cardarine is also, you may have heard of it as GW501516. Man, this thing's misunderstood and this thing is legendary. Cardarine isn't a SARM either. It's a PPAR delta agonist. And I explained this in my post today. Basically, fancy language for it tells your body to burn fat for fuel instead of sugar. What it does is it rewrites your energy metabolism. It rewrites that whole thing. It installs a new operating system. So it binds to PPAR delta receptors in muscle tissue specifically, which does 4 things. Increases fatty acid oxidase. So you burn more fat, not carbs. It improves endurance. So mitochondrial density goes up. It boosts glucose metabolism, better blood sugar control, and it reduces inflammation, just like MK677. So your joints in recovery love it. So you see where I'm going with this, right? You are going to build and burn, plus you're going to reduce you're going to mitigate a lot of the problems that you're having when you go to the gym, where you have nothing but pain and inflammation, and you struggle to get a workout done because it hurts. This eliminates most of that. And by the way, this stuff kicks in so fast. It, like most compounds, take weeks. This is days, if not 24 to 48 hours. You feel your lungs got upgraded. Your legs don't burn. Your stamina goes through the sea. Like, it's savage. Here's why Cardarine works pretty much like nothing else. It burns fat without stimulants. And stimulants usually don't burn as much fat as you think. They try and do it by fooling your body into think there's a more massive energy requirement by ramping up your temperature. But that's an illusion. It makes you feel like you're burning something because you're hot. But that doesn't mean you're burning more fat. It just means you're hot. You understand that, right? So it burns fat without stimulants. For real. No caffeine, no crash, no adrenal fatigue. You're not trashing your adrenals. This isn't some Red Bull masquerading as science. It's clean and it's sustainable and it burns fat, period. It takes your endurance. Man, this will skyrocket your endurance. Like, you become a Kenyan. Your VO max, which they say cannot be changed, through the ceiling. Don't take my word for it. Look up all the research. Time to exhaustion, up. Recovery between sets, insane. Every set is like your first set. And this isn't theoretical. This is all documented and it works. So when people are going, this is anecdotal, I tried it, it never worked for me. It's not anecdotal. If you tried it and it didn't work, you didn't try it. You got something else. Here's one of the coolest things it does. Cardarine protects muscle while you're cutting. So if you're in a deficit, great. Cardarine makes sure that the weight you lose is fat and not muscle. That is real recomp, just so you know. So when you're changing your composition to be much tighter and leaner and more muscular, a lot of the side effect of that is when you have a caloric restriction, your muscles take a beating. You get flat, you get small, and then you have to build all that up now as a lean person. You don't need to do that with this, not at all. It improves your metabolic health in ways you can't even understand. HDL goes up, triglycerides go down, blood sugar improves. This isn't a performance enhancer, it's a metabolic optimizer. And so if you understand the difference, you see exactly why this is such a great product. MK677 and Cardarine together, that's like Michael Knight and Kit. And like, if you know, you know. It doesn't get any better than that. And you want to know the secret, it's not about taking more, it's about sending in and stacking the right signals. That's why a lot of stuff doesn't work, because your body adapts. Remember, I said your body's primary biological objective is to maintain homeostasis, not make sure you look good naked. And so you don't have to worry about any of that with MK677 and Cardarine, because it's just sending in the right signals. That's why the difference between drugs and peptides is so astronomical, and why they don't like them. Because they actually do the right thing and they don't beat you to death. MK677 tells your body to build, Cardarine tells your body to burn at the same time while you sleep. So while most people are trying to choose between bulking or cutting, you see these all the time, right? I'm choosing between bulking or cutting. You're doing both simultaneously. Let me explain a little bit about how the energy breakdown works, because I think understanding what you're doing, I think everybody should know. It's like knowing why your car runs the way it does, and people go, I don't need to know, I'll just call a mechanic. Why would you want to drive a car and not understand even how to change a tire? Same thing with your body. There's people out you guys will drink alcohol and smoke dope and vape weed and take all kinds of chemistry that your doctor sends in a little bottle with a label on it that says take 2 every day, but you don't know what it's doing metabolically. You don't know how your body's really working, and you're just going, I'm going to trust the science, but you see where that went. I'll just leave it at that. So MK677 builds lean mass, enhances recovery, and improves sleep and growth hormone output, period. There's the synergy breakdown. I'll put this all together, right? Cardarine burns stored fat, boosts endurance, and enhances metabolic output. So more muscle, here's the synergy. More muscle, less fat, better energy, all without any suppression. None. That's not marketing. Everything else is marketing. There's no marketing here. Biochemical precision. This is surgical. So if, hypothetically, I were going to combine these, we'll just get down to some brass tacks. MK677, hypothetically, if I were going to use this for an experiment with my mice, I would use MK677, 20 to 25 milligrams a day, I would take it at night because it cranks up your appetite. If you take it during the day, take it at night and it marries with your sleep, right? So appetite and sleep synergy. You want that. Cycle length would be 12 weeks minimum, by the way. I wouldn't even consider doing this if it was anything less than that. I'd be more like 26 to 40. You can run this long term as long as you really want to, as long as your blood glucose is monitored. Just don't be stupid. The idea that you shouldn't have to check anything is the same reason why people's cars break down when they never change the oil. So just don't do that. Cardarine, 10 to 20 milligrams a day. The idea behind all of this stuff is when you're giving it to your mice or your kangaroo is that you cannot untake something. And if you understand what that means less is more. Start with less. If you see no results, give it a day or two and then start taking more. But don't go right to the max because you might not need to. Some people are hypersensitive to things and they work very well at a reduced dose. More is not better. So Cardarine, 10 to 20 milligrams a day, 30 minutes pre-training or first thing in the morning. And again, same length, just match them up at the same time. Suppression risk, 0. Because I get this question all the time. Am I going to have to worry about this when I stop and I go back to regular? No testosterone shutdown, no hormonal crash, no PCT required. You stay online at 100% the entire time. And if you say, how's that possible? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you because I've literally given you the science, the physiology, the endocrinology, the neurology behind all this, right down to the signal it sends with ghrelin, right? So I don't know what to tell you if you're going to doubt it, but I'm trying to give you things that actually work instead of you going and buying, another version of Jack 3D and some weird muscle builder that they said they have to hide behind the counter that does 2 things, jack and shit. So if I was doing this, I like to give things that give expectations so you can actually see what's coming, because otherwise you have no idea. I had a friend of mine, he's taking B2 and he said, he never knew. And I didn't even think about it. He goes, you should probably warn somebody when you give them B2 because I went to the bathroom and my urine was like neon. And I was like, holy shit, what's happening to me? And some of you guys might hear that and think you make fun of somebody, but if they don't know, they don't know. So I thought, damn, I have to remember to kind of give people what to expect. So I'm going to help you out so there's no surprises. Hypothetically, what I would expect is probably for the first and the second week, appetite's going to go up. Your sleep is going to improve massively. Your cardio output, you're not even going to understand how insane this is. And pumps and vascularity through the roof. Getting into the 4th week, you're going to see fat visibly decrease. Again, this isn't an excuse to eat like an asshole, by the way. It's not a hall pass. You still have to eat like a normal person. But weeks 3 and 4, I'd probably say week 4, visible fat is decreasing, right? Endurance feels effortless. Your strength is still going up and recovery is so fast and so clean, you have to pinch yourself to try and figure out if this is really happening. When you start getting into week 7 and 8, now you can see muscle growth. Your body starts recomposition. You can see it. It's undeniable. Muscles look fuller, harder, more grainy, more vascular, and your performance starts to skyrocket past week 12. This is why I said you have to run this longer. You're going to look leaner and you're going to move better and you are stronger. Fat loss continues without muscle loss. There's no change. You can get into week 30 and there's still no change. It's never going to start chewing up your muscle. You're never going to become cachexic on something like this. You're going to feel like you're in beast mode without any burnout. Your strength and your stamina, you're going to go back to being 18 years old and go, this is what it felt like. I feel awesome. And the other side of this equation is all that inflammation that was bugging you is pretty much gone. Here's why, listen, this is why it's safer and smarter to do than a lot of the other stuff. And I'm not comparing this to things that are designated for fat loss like retatrutide or people that are going down the road of PEDs or anything like that. I'm not. This is the closest, safest, smartest, most superior metabolic system, like biochemical leverage system you can ever put in your body, hypothetically, to get the results you want without ever puncturing your skin. MK677 and Cardarine, so you want to look at it. Muscle growth, builds lean mass, strong recomp, performance optimization. There's zero suppression. It's simple and easy to use. This isn't about taking more. This is about just better signals. I've said this before. And this is when people go, you're cheating. First of all, If somebody says you're cheating, you're never going to have anybody at the top saying that. You're going to have people at the bottom that have been struggling, unwilling. Here's why. I got to put the psychology in here, because here's what people do. They go, you're cheating. You cheated. You know you cheated. I saw this one stupid ass coach that said this. Every time I think about him, I want to punch him in the mouth because he bugs me, because he started talking about anabolic steroids and he went, you know you're cheating. It's not cheating. Everybody I know that's taking any kind of anabolic compound is working 10 times harder. There's no cheating there. They're outworking you because they can. And the people that say you're cheating are the ones that didn't put in the work and didn't get the results because they either got bunk gear or they just weren't putting in the work and they expected that they could just stick a needle in their ass and sit on a couch. If that's you, you guys think that there's some magic hidden secret that all you have to do is smile and the results show up. But this is real, where all this requires work. This just makes the work have a massive ROI. If this was an ad, would you want an ad that you struggled and suffered and had to work so hard to build and it gave you a 2x ROI? And then something comes along and says, I can 50x, that ad, the ROI on that ad. And you go, no, I'd rather suffer. That's the logic. You guys are nuts. So if you're thinking that, look, go in the mirror and smack yourself in the mouth. Grow up. The only reason people hang on to things like that is because the second they take something, all of their excuses have to vanish, because now there's proof. Because if it doesn't work for you, now you're a liar, because that proves you're not doing the work. That's it. It's not cheating. It's comp. Let me make this clear. You still have to train. You still have to eat clean. You still have to show up and do the work. But MK677 and Cardarine make your effort matter more. No suppression, no sides, no shutdown, just enhanced output and smarter recovery. That's it. And by the way, I'm going to hit a little bit of a bonus round here, and I wasn't even planning on doing this, but I get asked about SARMs a lot, because when people hear the word all the time, and when people hear the word SARM, you can tell instantly who doesn't know what they're talking about. Because people go, oh, like steroids without the ball shrinking, right? Wrong. Selective androgen receptor modulator. That's what SARM stands for, first of all. They only target muscle and bone without hammering your liver or your prostate. They're not even in the same category as an anabolic steroid. So yeah, you get lean muscle, you get strength gains, you get faster recovery, but you don't get the roid issues or the testosterone implosion. But here's the hack. Some SARMs, I'll be very transparent, can still suppress you. They're safer than a steroid, but they're not magic. This is all predicated on math. If you're reckless, you're still going to crash. If you source from garbage people, you get garbage results. Elitebiogenix, yes, I think everybody should get their stuff there. Why? Because it's safe. If you can find one time when I have let you down with an answer, I'd love to hear it, because you can't. I come out here and I tell you the truth because I actually give a shit about you. At 52 years old, above all, do no harm. My oath still stands, and it will until God calls me home, in all categories of my life, in teaching you guys how to make millions of dollars, and teaching you guys how to have the most robust, unbreakable juggernaut health and body, in teaching you how to have the most fantastic marriage and relationship with yourself and whoever you're married to. If you think for a second that I'm not in this to win it for you guys, so you guys win and you guys run around as the example of what it's like to hang out in the Spartan army with me, like I said, I don't want to be the king of the asshole. So if you're not going to come in and do the work, I don't even want you. You couldn't pay me enough. So understand, when I tell people they should join, it's because I'm going to give you more information than anyone else. This isn't some weird little community where I teach you dated information and hand you PDFs. This is constantly evolving. So if you're going to join the Unbreakable Mastermind before the prices go up, by the way, and this isn't a ruse, they're going up because it's in demand. You're going to send me a message that says Unbreakable on Instagram, and you will get one of two options: $1,500 a year or $4,997 for life. You pay me once and you never pay me again, and that's for two people. Now, I already know who's committed and who's not by which one they buy, because if they buy the $1,500 one and then send me a message 30 days later going, hey, can I upgrade to the $49.97? I will send you a bill for $49.97. And if you say, well, can't I apply this? I'll say no. Do you know why? Because you chose the cheaper one, and that shows your level of commitment. I don't want your money. I want your commitment. But if you had somebody that was always in your corner, always giving you the right advice, I would do everything possible to get around that person. My advice is someone who's successful in all areas and trying to share it with you guys. So let me come back to SARMs. So just understand, send me the word Unbreakable on Instagram and you will get in, but you're going to get sent to a checkout page. So with SARMs, if you're reckless, you're still going to crash. If you're buying from garbage places, buy from Elitebiogenix. Think of it like this. I'm trustworthy because I come out here and I just give you the information. I don't go, I'll tell you the rest of this inside the mastermind. I give it to you. Do I think you should join? Oh, yeah. Because I'll give you stuff that you can't even comprehend right now. But that's on you. You can keep maintaining the status quo if you want. Think of it like this with SARMs. Steroids are like a jackhammer, right? Like they're just beating a crap out of you and doing all kinds of physiological damage, quote unquote, in the right direction, but they're very hard on you. SARMs are like a sniper rifle. They are very specific. MK677 and Cardarine, those are like laser guided AI drones. Those are the three levels, right? So we've got the jackhammer, the sniper rifle, and then you've got the laser guided drones. Precise, efficient, and non-destructive on the human body. Only work where they're intended to work. That's why peptides work so well, because they are only signals. There's no compound there. And I know that's very difficult for people to grasp. But if there was a way to make pain turn off because it's repairing the system versus block the pain, but the damage is still occurring, a lot of you guys are still going to take the pain block and just take the damage until it's irreparable. Now I'm on the other side of that equation, and I'm a walking, talking billboard for everything that works. So again, I am sitting here trying to give you the information so you actually have it, so you can succeed in all aspects of your life. You got to decide what to do with it. But the problem is not lack of information, because I come out here every day. This isn't about shortcuts. This is about stacking leverage on top of discipline. MK77 builds, Cardarine burns. Together, they compound. They're synergistic. You don't need more motivation. You need better tools. So use the right weapon for the job, or quit crying when you keep missing the target. I don't know what to tell you. I'm giving you the tools to make $1 million a year, to turn yourself into a physiological juggernaut, healthy, by the way, not just because you're big and strong, and have a mindset that's pretty much bulletproof. So now you have the right weapons for the job. Now you can take them. If you don't take them, then quit crying when you miss. I don't know what to tell you. I got to go. Never miss.